Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
100 years ago, there were 100,000 tigers in the wild. Today, there are as few as 3,200. The Earth's wild animals can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Hi, I'm Ruth Quick from town of Ulster. I support Kingston Community Radio, and you should too.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
All right, this is Thunder Thursday in 22.
And as you can tell, this is the way too energetic Tony Marmo saying that. And this is the more normal for this time of morning, Guy Greco. Good morning, everyone.
Happy 22, healthy 22.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on out there.
The first Thunder Thursday of 2022. The first Thursday of
the first Thursday. It's the first everything for a lot of people.
So, I noticed when I pulled up today, because you're standing out there with your very light puffer jacket, being that Italian macho thing that you actually are.
Right.
And I noticed, and I want to tell you this to start the year. I don't normally do this kind of stuff, but to start the year, I want to let you know that when I see you, you're well coiffed.
Right.
Your beard is immaculately trimmed. You look much younger than your age. You're vivacious. You're always doing something in the community. And I just want to let you know to start the new year, you make me want to throw up. I just want you to know.
If you do throw up, don't hit me, okay?
Well, of course. That would ruin up.
Then I have to go back and re-coif.
So that's right.
That's not
and re-coiffing, as we all know, takes a lot of time.
Look, we all tick a certain way, man. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is just in the DNA, so to speak, or because if I'm not doing this, man, I'd be in a psycho ward. I'd be in a therapy room. I would be because.
Well, I could relate. I probably could relate pretty well to that.
Just kind of be true to yourself, whatever that is, and that's kind of. I mean, I could pretend to be quiet.
I was trying to shame you, not give you another minute to talk about yourself.
No, I'm just saying everybody kind of dances to their own beat.
That's right. No, you're right about that.
Or
I'm not coiffed. I'm not energetic.
Yes,
I'm not
you are
coiffed. Yeah, I look like a shrubbery, and I know it's okay.
Like the sea coiffed. I don't know. Is it cute? So I think there was a veiled compliment in there somewhere. Was it
it was
veiled?
Well, I think the alluding to I may lose my breakfast might have been the veil you're referring to. So it was veiled.
Well, you do bring a lot of brightness, I think, and energy. You bring your own sense of weird humor, which is really important.
It's nice, it makes me feel wanted. It's nice to feel wanted. Of course, I understand outlaws are wanted. It says so on the poster, so it's similar to that.
Exactly. So,
is there a line of people that want this job in this seat?
I'll tell you, there's several. I can't.
You would and you lie with ease.
Right. Several people. But are you a resolutions kind of guy? Do you say, it's a new year?
When I was young, I was.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was all fruitless.
Yeah, right.
And then I'd pay it lip service. Sometimes it wouldn't last the rest of the celebration, the
Right.
New Year's celebration.
Oh, so depending on how many hours that was.
Yeah, and so I've done the things that I always threaten. I've quit smoking. I've
Lost
done a lot.
weight.
Yeah, but not
So
because
started
it was a
going to the
resolution.
gym.
No, I
Never made
no,
that.
I went to no, I did. I went to the
Smoking,
gym
maybe
once. I went to one of the the big gyms, and I bought
Yeah,
what was
Planet
called
Fitness or
a
something?
Planet Fitness. So, and I bought I think it was called a black card.
Oh,
and
so
with
that's
that
$20
card,
a month or something.
yeah, it's $20 a month, but
Yeah.
you can bring someone with you.
Right.
And I bought a year's membership. So for a year, I wasn't going for 2, and I wanted to lose weight. I lost whatever $20 for a year weighs. The first
Right.
time I went,
Right.
they had a young man who, I guess there was a class of us newbies, and you had to fill out this extensive form about your medical background, and I checked everything off except, I see dead people wasn't on there. I
Right,
probably
right,
would have
right.
checked that too. And then he said we were going to walk to the treadmills, and we had to do the math to figure out our target heart rate, and I'm sure some people know how to do that, but I can't recall what it was. So we went to the back, and I was the first one on, and the walk there made me hit my target heart rate. The walk, not the walk on it, the
Yeah.
walk to
Yeah.
it.
Well,
So I thought maybe this is not for me.
Not for you. Yeah, but you look like you're in pretty good shape generally. I mean, that's just
I
Mother Nature. You
We
do-
got a puppy. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know that,
Okay.
and I know you've had puppies, right?
No,
I
we've
mean, not
never- no,
not
I-
as cuisine. I
No,
mean,
no.
had them, owned them. You've never owned a dog?
The last marriage, yes. This marriage, no. Near the end, yeah.
Oh, I see. So you have. So did you
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
dog as a puppy?
Well, when we got the dog's a puppy, yeah.
Okay. Now,
Back
listen.
in the day. Yeah,
please
back in the day.
Don't act like this is the third
No,
degree.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry
no,
to make.
I got you.
But
But-
the reason I ask is because if anybody's ever had a puppy, you got to walk a puppy frequently.
Right, it's like having a kid, just about, right? You got to get
I
up,
never
you know,
walked my
you
kids
gotta-
when they
you
were
never-
6 months old. It's very rare.
Why do you have to walk a puppy? I don't get that. You have to take a puppy out, potty train the puppy.
Right.
What are you walking a puppy for?
For that, to potty train
Oh,
the
to
puppy.
potty train.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And it's happened. My wife, of course, does it mostly, but lunchtime. That's what our lunchtime is. We both work at Mid Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, an equal housing lender.
Right. We want to talk about that
And
in a second.
we go home at noon and we walk the dog around the block, and then we have a long walk at night, and then some frequent walks in between. So between that and the stairs, that's enough with the exercise
That's it.
stuff. I
Yeah.
think, and it's more than I used to do, so it's to the
You
good.
got to get one of these little, put it on your, birthday list. Christmas is gone. Get one of these little Fitbits, right?
What would that do?
Well, it tells you how many steps you've taken.
It's-
Right, so
listen,
far-
I got 10 fingers.
I
I
got-
could probably
I
figure it.
got almost a half a mile in already today. I don't know what.
I don't know if that's a lot. I don't know when I walk the dog if it's a mile, a half a mile. I don't know.
bet you it is.
How
Well,
many
if you-
steps are in a half a mile, or how many steps are in a mile?
About 2,000.
2,000 steps. So now I got to do 2 things I hate: walking and math.
Well,
at the
no, you
same
get one of
time.
the watches that says.
Well, I mean, until I get a watch now, I got to
heart
count.
rate. Like my heart rate right now. You want to know what my heart rate is? 100. That's high.
It is
So
well.
here, that's high. Yeah, it's high. And yeah, so other stuff on there, but
So until then, I could just get a pencil and pad.
you can go stick, stick, stick,
That's
stick,
right.
cross.
That's right.
Stick, stick,
That's
stick,
right.
stick, cross. So let's talk about Mid Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union.
Let's.
What's happening, man? What's happening there?
Well,
As an underwriter sponsor, thank you
you are quite welcome.
for the happy
Now,
Christmas fund.
I got to tell you, although there's a lot of people involved in that, it's Wayne. Wayne spearheads that. He
He's
This This is his pet project, which I guess by default makes you his pet.
Hey, I'm happy. They bring a lot of money. You guys bring a lot of you ladies and guys bring
He-
a lot of
he,
money to the Happy Christmas Fund. And
He really does.
So
He uses his influence and his personality, and he gets people interested.
It's
And
all about leadership, man. It's all about leadership.
it sure is. It turns
really.
out more and more. You see how valuable that is.
I mean, that's a.
And the credit union has knock on wood,
Amazing.
with this up to this
Right.
point and this variant,
Right.
we've been fine. I know that everybody's on edge about this stuff, and I get it.
People
were
saving
just,
more money, you think? Not spending as much, or spending habits have changed again, you think?
Well, I think I think, and I'm sure Elliot could address this much better than I could. If you're listening, have your driver turn up the radio, Elliot. Have your your chauffeur turn up the radio. Just tap on the glass.
He's probably getting quaffed right now.
Yeah, tap on the glass and tell your chauffeur to turn the radio on in the back of the limo.
So spending habits.
I think obviously they've changed from what we'd love to see, local retail, people going out, and even at Christmas time going around, there was no. First of all, there wasn't that many places to go.
Right.
And there wasn't that many people out, like, because I'm last minute kind of guy, I usually judge by that. I know not to do that, but I do it every year. And when I go out, there's usually there was nothing. There was really not much.
Yeah.
So I think the spending habits now are more online than ever.
Yeah, I think so. The big A, unfortunately, right?
Yeah. And listen, and a shout out to QVC, my wife's favorite.
Oh yeah. Well, they invented this stuff, man. I'm sorry.
Well, and they
started, all this online or on the TV.
Their records are very good, and their call center is good. My mother, I had never heard of QVC. My mother used them. I wasn't living at home, but she was apparently ordering stuff for grandkids and all the time on QVC. Now, she died very, very long ago, and Alma called from our phone once for something, or I did.
And they knew.
They asked if she was Kathleen Greco.
Right. They said, our revenues are down, our sales are down. Is she okay?
We notice you haven't called in 40 years, Mrs. Greco. Was there a problem with the last thing you purchased?
That's hilarious. So you're seeing, you think people are saving more? Or is that trend?
I really don't know. I don't know. I know that, there's some big purchases like purchasing cars, right?
Right.
That's all stalled because of
availability.
Because of availability. I think there's demand.
Right.
The other big ticket item, homes, which is what I do, there's a huge demand and limited supply. Yeah. So that causes, you probably better look like saving if you want to buy a home these days.
I think there's a lot of money on the sidelines. I still think there's pent-up demand. And with this Omicron stuff, people are now going back to, I'm not going to go out, and I'm going to stay local, going to stay home, order out, da-da-da. My guess is that restaurant business down. Social activities down.
It is.
Right?
New Year's Eve is sort of sad. There's and I think because of our area and the nature of the weather here,
right?
That again in spring when everybody can outdoors, it should open up. But I don't think people will be as cautious this spring. I think so long as everything is where it should be, it'll be hopefully a big boon. Now
this one. Peters out and at the end of January, which is kind of what they're predicting.
Is that right? The end of January?
That's what they're saying. I mean, it's virulent.
I had heard the end of March. But January, that would be wonderful, the end of January.
Fauci is like, for the season, as far as I'm concerned. That guy, I mean, they really need to get another spokesperson in there.
Is that right? I really haven't paid attention to him.
I like
him. I know he's an expert on.
Guys flip-flop more than, I don't know.
Well, I think a lot. I don't think anybody really knows.
They don't know, but.
Listen, I'm not pretty sure you can't go on TV and say, hi, with the subtitle underneath 17 PhDs and go, hi, we don't know. Yeah. We really don't know. Yeah. Hang in there, do smart things, get vaccinated.
The guy at the beginning was
wear a mask, and we don't know.
The guy at the beginning was saying, well, masks are optional. This is when 2020, when the pandemic started. I don't know about masks. And come on, man. This is like.
Oh, you wanted to wear them then?
I did because I worked in healthcare for 37 years.
Well, there you go. I think you could be the new spokesperson.
I probably could.
You have the pipes for it. You're on the radio all the time. You've probably been on TV a million times.
Half a million, but I'm working on a million. FAUCI MARMO. It's 5 letters and a couple vowels in there. Italian. I could be.
Yeah, I know you're. Everybody with a pulse that's ever spoke to you for 3 seconds knows you're Italian.
Speaking about Italians, today is January 6th, which is Little Christmas, Epiphany, the Feast of
Epiphany. Yes, Epiphany, that's right.
And Little Christmas, which we had, our Ulster County Italian American Foundation, of which you're a member. Thank you very much. I'm sure you auto-renewed. I
didn't know my car could renew for me. Yes, that's great.
Of course it can. So we had a dinner tonight scheduled for Diamond Mills. We had kind of a low turnout.
Can I guess? Did you cancel it?
We did. Yeah. We did. We pushed it out to February 15th, and so that's a dinner at Diamond Mills, February 15th. It's going to be a Valentine's Day dinner dance. Mike Dell will be
nice.
there. You and the lovely Alma should show up since you're members and participate. Karen Pillsworth is going to be telling, instead of the La Befana story, which is like the Christmas witch in Italy that is the good witch, gives presents to kids, La Befana. You got to figure.
Hold it. There's a Christmas witch in Italy?
Yeah.
I was deprived of this story.
Yeah, good witch.
Perhaps
La Befana. That's
perhaps the witch wasn't there when my grandparents left Italy.
Befana, Befana. Yeah. So
is it going to be spelling on this too long?
Well, I'm just so you don't have
counting
to
my
I
steps.
tried to Google Befana and I spelled a B-I something, so I just B-I-N-G-O.
I appreciate that.
You can go, what's his name?
So tell me about this Christmas witch.
Oh, the Christmas witch. Well, yeah, it's lore.
They don't have Santa Claus there. None of that stuff.
No, the Italians don't
Santa Claus. None of that stuff.
No. Not even an Easter King did they. No. So Befana. So that's the story. So tonight, Karen has traditionally told the La Befana story, which is awesome, at our dinner, our little Christmas dinner. And Mike Dell has always performed, and we're out there dancing. And we didn't do it last year. And
do they have the La Befana dance? Is there
the witch dance?
Yes,
that's
the witch dance.
That's the tarantella. That's the spider dance.
That's tarantula, isn't it?
Close enough. Spider, tarantula.
So that's the same dance?
It's the same dance, yeah. No, so it's the 15th, February 15th. It's actually open to non-Ulster County Italian American Foundation members. You need to kind of get in, buy one, but
right.
So it's an open, kind of a multicultural type thing. So, yeah, that's the 15th. You can go on UCIF for Ulster County Italian American Foundation.org, and you'll be able to purchase tickets $40, which is pretty reasonable these days. Up at Diamond Mills.
It is. It is.
That's an all-in with tip.
Now, is this why you were asking if I noticed that the credit union, the people were saving more? This is a prelim to the $40.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Good. There's always some strategy.
It's kind of a community announcement since we canceled it, and just want folks to know that we're alive and well. I'm president again. I started out 4 years as
I
president.
thought you were not president.
No, I wasn't for a couple of years while I was district
And now
governor.
you're president again.
Yeah. Les Lombardi did a great job.
Well, congratulations.
Well, yeah, it's a 2-year hitch, and then we have another person already lined up. And I said the only reason why I will take it again is if we line up somebody to succeed me.
So you have demands, as a president often does.
I do.
I see.
Succession planning is the part of the
I
demands.
see.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that there will be a peaceful transfer of power when you
Bloodless
when
coup.
you leave
Bloodless coup.
when you leave office? Do you think
Bloodless
it'll?
coup?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I can
We'll
have
see.
a couple of storm the
Bad. There's probably a bad date for that stuff.
bad
right?
date for that.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I wonder, yeah. La Befana probably was responsible for that.
Yeah, listen, can I ask you, are you making this up about La Befana because you know that I don't know? Does
I
anyone
make stuff up? I mean, I
How
could
can you make stuff up? I've been on the radio with you for a couple of years. How could you make stuff up?
Right. Now, I have known people that when they speak, they lie. I mean, that just goes synonymous.
Yeah.
Right? And when
yeah,
you speak, you lie.
I envious of those people.
Yeah. But no, La Befana is a very old tradition, and I'm going to give you a little homework. So your homework.
I got to count my steps.
Count your steps. Go do a little research on La Befana, B-E-F Befana, and what else? And show up on February 15th.
Got a lot of stuff.
Take your sweetie.
I wish I brought a pad with me.
Take your sweetie and have some ziti.
Is that your slogan? That's a great slogan. Is that your slogan?
That's the slogan for February 15th. Yes, take your sweetie.
And have some ziti. That's fantastic.
Sweetie, have some ziti. So, yeah, you know Mike Dell. Mike Dell does a great job.
Yeah, sure, I know Mike.
So the credit union's doing well.
It is doing well.
Mortgages are kind of, refis are kind of.
It's going great. I guess this very specific time of year, it usually slows down a bit. So I guess that for me, being new in that particular area, it doesn't seem slow at all.
Right.
Seems extremely busy, but I guess this is slower. The goal, I think, of all the lenders that do this is to speed the process as much as possible because, especially for first-time home, you want to buy a home,
Right.
you're anxious to get it done. And
Right.
we have a new vice president, Jim Moran is his name. I'm sure he was thrilled to be my boss.
Yeah, should bring him on the radio one time.
Yeah, I should bring him on the radio.
Bring him on, absolutely.
And he's been with us, I don't know, maybe 6 months now. And he's done a lot of improvements to the process itself. He's a process
I
guy.
think I met Jim at a chamber breakfast. How
No.
long? Huh? No, not yet.
I don't think so. I think you
Young
told me
guy?
that. Yeah, no, he's
Okay,
he's
young
our age, Jim. Although he probably
We know that ain't young.
and he would probably not like me saying that because he's 5 years younger than I am.
Okay.
And when you're younger than somebody by 5 years, you think it's different. It's not different. You just think
We're in
it's
the same
different.
decade. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But he's changed the process. So now I'm pretty confident telling people that, for a lot of the 45 days.
Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
we'll be clear to close in 45 days on your mortgage. That's
good.
a big
amazing.
thing.
Refis or line of credits, that's a
Still
different
happening.
process.
It's a different they're very short lines of
Yeah.
credit.
Right.
30 days and less.
I would think with housing prices going up, right? Typically, market values
Yeah.
going up, people have some, I'll say, built-in equity because if you bought the house for $300,000, it's probably worth $350,000.
Well, it's a funny thing that you mentioned that. It kind of works that way, but sometimes there's a house next door to my daughter that just sold for over $500,000. She has a driveway line with them. And when they listed it for $500,000, it sold for $520,000 because there was a little bit of a bidding war. We thought, oh, well, they're throwing a number out there.
Yeah.
They know they're never going to get that, but why not?
Yeah.
And they got it, and they got it quick. Now, but here's the thing. The value of that house is nowhere near
Yeah,
$520,000. So if somebody's going to finance that house, they're going to have to come up with an incredible down
Chunk of
payment.
chunk of change.
Just what they're selling
But if
for
there-
and their value are
if there are
different.
folks from the metropolitan area coming up, let's say they've sold or they've accumulated some cash down there.
Yeah.
That's not a problem, man.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a ton of cash accumulated. There's programs you don't have to put a ton down. But the median rent in Brooklyn, for instance, and a lot of people specifically are coming
$5,000,
from
I'm
Brooklyn.
going to say.
Yeah, $3,000 and up. The median, $3,000 a
and
month.
up is,
Well,
years ago.
$3,000 a month gets you a pretty nice house.
My
around.
son lived in Brooklyn. He was paying $3,500 5 years ago.
Yeah, was it a nice apartment or just a regular apartment?
No.
Yeah,
No,
so a nice apartment's definitely more.
$3,500 back then.
That was probably reasonable for a nice
I'm
apartment.
telling you, now it's $4,500.
Well, there you go. So
know.
translate that to now you find out you can do your job from anywhere,
Right.
and
Remote.
and a big city like that during a pandemic where everybody you probably can't have one apartment building without people sick in it, right? Just by
Yeah.
the law of
Yeah,
numbers,
no,
large
absolutely.
numbers. And then you find out you can work from anywhere, and for less than you're paying in rent, you can own a home. Well,
As long as
who
you got
wouldn't
the
do it?
cash down or some cash
Yeah.
down. Yeah, no, that's definitely changing demographic up here. Let's talk about another favorite subject of yours.
Yeah.
Live music. What's happening with live music?
Well, I
Is it
got two.
stalled a little
I
bit?
got two gigs in, nice big outdoor gigs,
and
and
then pull the plug.
third one, someone in the band contracted COVID, so we had to cancel.
Okay.
And then everything since then is no New Year's Eve. 2 years in a row now. I didn't play on New Year's Eve. It's kind of odd.
Horrible, man. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to be depressing and say it's going to be this way,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I didn't have my hopes
High.
really high this year. I didn't after last year. I'm sort of. I've developed a wait and see attitude.
I mean, it's who the hell knows?
And I was speaking to someone yesterday at work at Mid-Hudson Valley. They came in for a home equity loan. And a young lady, nice young lady, I was speaking to her for an hour or so, getting all the information. And she happened to recognize me and said how much she misses going out for live music. Her and her husband, her boyfriend, she said it's kind of left a void. And what she didn't realize is how much joy it brought them.
Yeah.
Because it was their release, right?
Yeah,
for all
yeah,
the work and the pent-up stuff. I never really looked at it like that,
Did
but I
she
guess
ask you
that's
to
the
sing
case.
like Mustang Sally right there?
No,
She didn't?
no.
Oh, why not?
Well, I don't know. I had a mask on and I wouldn't do it. Probably two reasons. And why Mustang Salad?
I don't know. It just popped into my head.
I see. You're very trendy and contemporary. There's a lot of that going. Well, they still
good jazz
make
song.
Mustang,
It's a good-
and I have a Mustang,
And
so they still
you have
make
a
them. Yeah.
Mustang and you used to date Sally, so it's
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't say it. Don't you have any Edsel songs?
So January, the month of January, I'm thinking is just going to be a big fat nothing, right? I mean, it's just, you know.
Musically,
I mean, it's just.
I haven't checked it. I get this in my mailbox, in my email. I get it's a text, I guess, or it's an advertisement for music calendar.
Yeah.
And they list everything happening, but I stopped even opening it because it's just depressing. It's all canceled and to be announced.
Bad.
Well, I wanted to, I got a new phone. I lost my phone.
Okay.
So first, I think typically people go into panic mode without their phone, right?
Right.
It's got all my pictures in it. It's got all my contacts in it, all my phone numbers. But it took me years to find out how to get in touch with them. So I was in panic mode. I looked everywhere. I never did find the phone.
Cloud, man.
Yeah. After the first 10 days or so, I said, well, we got to get new phones. Went to get a new phone. It was all in the cloud. I got everything back.
You're off my cloud, man.
By the time, and cell phone shortage, by the way.
Cell phone shortage.
Yeah, people that were coming into the Verizon store, if they were looking for an iPhone, which is very, very popular, he was saying 2 to 3 months before we'll have any.
Wow.
But anyway, I got my phone, and here's what I realized after a little over 2 weeks went by before I actually had the phone. Not having my phone was the most liberating thing that's happened to me in
years. Yeah, I believe it.
No Facebook.
After you got through the panic.
Yeah.
And
I realized I had a lot more time, and I could focus on something. If I had a TV show, and I actually watched the TV show.
Right.
I didn't try to multitask and do 2 or 3 things at once.
Yeah, that's the problem with these things. You're always looking, blah, blah, blah. Who's trying to get a hold of me? What email did I get?
And you know what?
Who's on Facebook?
And this was at Christmas as well. It ended up, the world didn't stop. I don't know that anybody hates me for not putting on Facebook Merry Christmas to everybody. And
why can't we do a national, no phone use?
Put it down. And national Put It Down.
Put it down day.
Yeah.
Let's start that movement.
And people will say it started here with Italian Tony Marmo.
An Italian guy.
And we'll call it La Bufana Day. The phone witch, the Italian phone witch.
There's no boo, it's be. Not boo, be.
Listen, I'll name the movement what I want to name the movement. It's named after a hairdo, the Buffon. At which, that hairdo, by the way, I can't talk, you got to talk.
Okay. Well, why don't you go get some water or a little bourbon or something?
Why don't you stop telling me what to do?
You're an angry man.
I'm just tired of you bossing me around. That's a resolution I have. You want to know if I have a resolution?
It's like, I
don't want you bossing me around. It's my resolution.
Like when you're going to the movie, in fact, nobody goes to the movies anymore, by the way, and the popcorn sign comes, like subliminal. That's what I'm doing with you. I'm giving you subliminal messages.
No, you're just being bossy, and you're a little bossy to start with, but now it's very specific. When there's other guests, I noticed you can spread it around, but I'm the only one here, so it's okay. You're a good boss. No, I'm not angry. It's not a revolt. We're trying to start a cell phone movement here. You won't let me name it what I want. I could have been naming it after Tony Bofa's. You know that restaurant in Middletown?
No.
Oh, in Middletown.
No,
Yeah.
never heard of it.
Yeah.
Tony
Bofa. It's probably been there for 50 years. Tony Bofa's, yeah.
I haven't heard of it. So we're supposed to have Elliot Auerbach in the studio today, the deputy comptroller
He'll be here
of New
in
York
what
State.
time? 7:30?
Supposed to be 7:30.
Excellent.
The driver probably got delayed
Well,
somewhere.
tap on that glass. No, don't get in. Just take your time. It's fine, Elliot. Don't get the chauffeur nervous. Just tap on the glass.
Give a big shout out to folks that supported the Happy Christmas Fund, Kingston Community Radio.
Yeah, what
We're
was the
doing good,
final
Lawrence,
tally
there.
on that?
We're doing good, Lawrence, on that?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, on Happy Christmas
Yeah,
Fund.
we're all
doing
good.
All good? Okay.
This must be an exciting show.
I got some more checks yesterday, and as far as all the money that was pledged the day of the event, that seems to be collected. I might be about $1,000 short, but I know I know who you are.
Yeah.
And
So
but yes, I went around collected most of the
numbers
checks.
around, the day of the event was about 65,000.
Yeah, around 66,000, and we
But then we
collected
got-
around.
But we got another
Great
batch,
start.
prior
start.
and then subsequent
Yeah.
to
Right,
that.
and I haven't went and put all the other stuff together with the other batch people. I haven't done that yet. Right now, I'm in the midst of doing thank you notes, and my God, this is the biggest year of thank you notes ever. I'm still a week into it, and I haven't even put a dent into them yet. So,
and we're already thinking about.
I'll have them done this weekend, though.
2022.
Well, yeah, we're thinking about the put your cell phone down Buffon Day.
You see the new one that Galaxy's got, the one that opens up?
Yeah.
You
have that?
They had that in stock when I got this one.
Yeah, that's the one I want, but they told me 4 months.
Very small.
You're an iPhone guy, right?
Yeah. Why don't we go
No,
to
I
break?
have an iPhone for work.
Let's go to break real quick, and then we'll come back. Is that good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Crystal Run.
I don't know how that happened. Oh, it froze up. That's how it happened.
Then there's.
I got to reboot the computer.
I was at Hudson Heritage, which is now just Heritage.
Okay, we're back on.
We are.
I think we are. We had a little technical difficulty there with our computer, apparently.
Oh, you seem to be a little.
I'm just talking to the engineer.
You are.
Yeah, we did. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I'm rebooting it now.
Okay. All right. Ooh. Well, welcome to our guest, Elliot Auerbach.
Good morning. Well,
Deputy Comptroller, New York State.
I have to share with you guys. I drove in this morning, of course. Totally. No. I have my chauffeur outside. Totally engaged with your first half an hour banter.
Oh, good.
And I just think the one thing that you don't share with your audience is that you also have another personality on the other side of the mic. Tony, you're a successful entrepreneur, businessman, guy.
Yeah.
You're in the finance world. I mean, you need to let people know.
Very kind of you, Elliot.
They think you're some sort of like Catskill comedy routine here. No, seriously though, I did appreciate driving in and hearing. I loved Guy's conversation about what's happening out there in the housing world and the lack of inventory and people with money coming in and driving up price and all these things. There's a whole energy that's going on right outside our front door that some of us don't even realize. I said to my folks yesterday that the census, it drew a line in 2020, and really we need to look at 2021 and then 2022 at what's happening in the Hudson Valley throughout entire New York State. It's really
probably as much change in those 2 years as there was in a decade.
Amazing. I mean, I was in Albany yesterday. We were talking in the office. You cannot even find a place to rent in Albany.
Yeah.
I mean, the city has just, gained a huge wave of people who have moved in. And I think, Guy, you mentioned it earlier, the ability to telecommute. work from basically anywhere.
Yeah.
The attraction of a city like Albany, a capital, jumping on the train, moving around, doing whatever you need to do. I mean, these are things that people are looking at now.
And and it is spurred by that, I think. And the one way that I look at that is there were a lot of companies that this wasn't even on the planning board yet. It was done out of necessity.
Right.
But cheers to them to be able to do it.
Well, I think that was a message.
Short order.
That yesterday was the state of the state. So Governor Hochul,
laid out
the not just a 1-year plan, but about a 5-year plan, which was very impressive. And again, the news reporters were touting her as the first woman governor in New York State, and she gets up and she says, I'm not here to make history. I'm here to make a difference.
Yeah.
And that was the theme of what she laid forward for New York, and you can see that her vision really engulfs what's happening right now. She looks at the challenges that people are having, currently the businesses that are having. I don't know if you heard that she extended the restaurant's ability now to sell carry-out beverages, which was something that really was very successful for them.
Yeah.
Things like that. So understanding the present, but also looking at the future. So it was pretty cool.
Elliot, what's her background?
So she's an Erie County lady, a Buffalo, New York lady. She was the county clerk in Buffalo. So in Erie, right?
Yeah,
so imagine,
imagine
a Nina Postapak as governor, right?
Yes.
Who would be great, by the way.
I'm up for that.
So she has that personality, the kind of personality where she, much like Nina, it doesn't matter what letters after your name, if it's an R or a D.
Party,
right, exactly.
Right.
She's going to help.
And she was a member of Congress. I believe she sat for a term in Congress. So she has a broad approach to government.
Family business was in farming, or was it?
I
recall because she spoke in Kingston a few years ago.
She has Irish heritage. She came. She talks about her family coming here from Ireland, and just again, much like all of our parents, grandparents. The immigrant story of coming with nothing and building up a world. That was her life too. But she's very, very relatable. And yesterday was not the fanfare that I have seen in the past with State of the States, when the former governor used to parade out little kids to sing and bands to march and things.
That was because of COVID or by design?
Circus.
I think it was a combination of both. The governor spoke in the well of the legislature, which is something that has always been tradition, which was changed when the former governor was there. Sitting in the well was my boss, Comptroller DiNapoli, Attorney General Tish James, a sprinkle of legislators, not full, and some press folks, and that truly was it. And she was very conscious, of course, of the safety and the well-being of the people there. But she also took the opportunity to broadcast this, so it was live and people watched it. It wasn't long. It was probably if it was an hour, it was long, and I don't even think it was that. But she touched on so many very important points, things that we're facing. But she also created an attitude of really getting back to working together, not being divisive. And that's even, you saw that in the previous administration when, there was a split between the legislature and the executives, and nothing got done.
I like the fact that she's also advocating for term limits, right?
Very interesting.
Because I think if you ask the average person in the street that is concerned about politics at all, they'll tell you that's number one issue. Don't let these elected folks stay in office.
Make it a career.
These are also the folks that would have to pass that law.
Correct.
Well, I get it, but let's.
And what I would like to see folded into term limits, quite honestly, and this is personal and not from the comptroller's office, is an extension of the term of the assembly member, who now has to run every 2 years, and an extension of the term of the state senator, who now has to run every 2 years. Make them a 4-year term, because again, much like Congress, I think of folks, there, you're elected and then you're running for office.
Terms and then you're done. That's it.
That's 8 years as an elected official. I know that there's both sides of the equation. People say, well, term limits come every time there's an election. People can limit you, vote you out. So there's that
That argument holds with some water.
Philosophy,
The reason
too.
why I asked about Governor Hochul was I think her family or her husband's family, someone was in the farming business. I remember her talking about that.
Very possible.
In Kingston when she was at our Chamber of Commerce. Norman Staffing sponsored that breakfast, and I have pictures with her. You know, this is back in, I want to say 2019, maybe April.
Well, she
or
definitely knows where
March.
Ulster County is. I can tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure she
she
does.
spent some time in Ellenville. I'm very proud of that. She, hung out at our school. She toured a number of different summer camps. One summer when she was here, she's very aware of that. She's traveling all over the state. I'm very impressed. I think that there has been a breath of fresh air that has blown through the Capitol, and I think people, they're still figuring out who she is. She's relatively new in that.
Running for November, right?
Right. So she filled the term as of August, I think, when the former governor stepped down, and then she's up for election in November.
You mentioned Letitia James.
Tish James is also up as the Attorney General, doing a wonderful job, and a person that I respect. No, she has decided, and rightfully so, that she has a lot of work to continue to do as Attorney General, which she will do. Comptroller DiNapoli is up in November, so it's a whole laundry list of elections. You have the Assembly, you'll have the Senate, you have
busy 22.
You have the it's busy right now.
The fact that you're so optimistic about this change makes me hopeful.
Well, it's nice to see, and I hope that those critics out there, and I can appreciate where they're coming from, gives the governor an opportunity to do what she's going to do. We're quick to criticize. You see that on Facebook every day.
It's easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Like I does it to me. I mean,
it is. It's easy,
and vice versa.
Right, exactly.
But it's nice to see, and it's just a wonderful, like I said, breath of fresh air that's blowing through the Capitol.
Let's talk about finances. As we Guy and I were talking about, who's spending, who's saving.
Oh baby, it's interesting. The rule book that the playbook, I should say, that we live by has dramatically changed. There's no question about it. And what we are seeing and trying to alert communities about is that what was 2 years ago is not today. I had an interesting conversation the other day in the city of Saratoga Springs, who was very dependent on one revenue source, which was a video lottery terminals, VLTs. That has dramatically changed, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's not in play. Sales tax is pretty quirky. We're coming out with a sales tax report, I believe this week or maybe next week, and we try and monitor sales tax on a monthly basis.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, sales tax has been really
split
healthy.
online and in person.
And how is I don't understand. You had said this once before, and I meant to ask you to go into it a little bit in depth. How is that even possible that the revenue's good for sales?
Well, it's interesting. I joked initially. I said, "What is everybody buying a travel trailer, getting in it, and going, driving around the country?"
Yeah.
But different areas are experiencing different really pops in their sales tax.
But what about online sales?
Online sale, here's a funny thing, and again, I didn't grow up in government, so I look at it sometimes and I shake my head. There was a point probably up until about 18 months ago, 20 months ago, that they really didn't differentiate the two, and we would get our numbers from DOB, the Division of Budget, and then we said that's ridiculous. I mean, you really need to know what's happening, and there's the other quirks too. Let's take one of the big box stores, for example. I'll use Home Depot. Mm-hmm. They may report their sales tax not locally but statewide,
exactly
because they're coming out of in Walmart's case, Bentonville, Arkansas. So it's all these things, and there are these number crunchers, I'll call them, who sit there and now are taking this and looking at it much more closely. And then what we do is we will analyze it once we get the numbers from them and go region by region. We'll go municipality by municipality, because there's sales tax sharing agreements that we have to monitor and things like that. So it's been healthy. I have not seen a dramatic negative impact as a result of sales tax.
It has to be the online piece.
I'm sure. Look,
people going to stores is.
Well, I mean,
lower.
With so many people that were out of work, still they can't find people to work. It's just where's the revenue to do that?
Right.
It's really
credit card debt. I don't
So a sales tax. The governor talked about the federal money yesterday, which is also a huge importance to local governments. We keep telling the mayors and the town supervisors and the county executives, yes, you're fat and happy right now because you've got this wave of federal dollars that come in, but don't get comfortable with that. Understand that it's short term, and you cannot live off that in 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of things. It's been really interesting. I don't think anybody in the elected office realized what they were signing up for. This wasn't part of wasn't part of their plan.
So it was my point earlier. I think it's an advantage for for an elected official to have experience in the private sector. There's exceptions to the rule, but if you're a lifelong elected official and have never signed.
Agreed. I hear what you're saying. And that's why I always preface it by saying I didn't grow up in government. I grew up, and many of my colleagues and contemporaries are coming from the outside world, coming in, and it's interesting too because they bring a whole different perspective than somebody who's been there for 25 years or 30
And
years.
did you have to learn how to navigate the political landscape?
Oh baby.
Even with an yeah, sure. So the skill set that someone has that's been in government for a very long time is that side of it.
Right. No, Tony, it's a funny story. You talk about that. The other day, I spoke to a newly elected official. She has a PhD, and she is a professor at a very well-known private school in New York State, and very book smart, I'll call it, very intellectual, but had no clue on how government works. And there are these little fine points that you really have to grasp and understand. We see it in the comptroller's office because people come to us and think we can do everything. And there's our responsibility, at least my responsibility, is overseeing the financial health of towns, villages, cities, counties, school districts, and we also do training and things like that. But people think that we're the money police, and in some respects we are, but we work hand in hand with local district attorneys.
Can I ask, we're with Elliot Auerbach, Deputy Comptroller.
And Guy Greco and Tony Marmo.
Yes. However, but Lawrence is in the studio. I'm one in the engineering room. I'm wondering if we can take some phone calls. Folks want to give maybe open.
Only from Bills fans. Bills fans, please, only.
331-9255. If you have a question for Elliot Auerbach, please give us a call. 331-9255. Give us a call.
Do you think that all of the climate now, right, the divisive climate, and it's not just politics, it's
correct.
Do you think that stops people from seeking public office and all the things that the government as an entity went through due to the pandemic and due to addressing the pandemic? Well, let's face it, no matter what you say, you have half the people.
Right.
Do you think that inhibits people from seeking office that would have before?
Great question. Not only does it inhibit people from seeking office, it also has ushered people out the door. Most recently, there was a letter that we received from a town official who stepped down, and he was very eloquent in his reasons for leaving and pointed a finger at his fellow board members as a result of it because of this divisiveness.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it on the school board level, on the village level, on the town. It's sad. Again, Tony's heard me tell the story, the Rich Matthews, Kevin Cahill story, where we'll fight like hell on the floor of the legislature and we'll go out and have a beer.
That's right.
That's what we have lost. And I believe we will see that return, and it is truly a tone at the top. And we knew what was going on in the previous administration in Albany and how divisive it was and how much infighting there were. I think we'll see that change too.
Well, and I don't even think it's local. I think it's national.
I agree. I agree.
And there was a time where I thought, I thought like Tony could be governor if he wanted. Of course, his speechwriter would have to change. He couldn't run on the. Come to New York, bring your sweetie, and have some ziti.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Municipalities, how do you think they're doing? Are they still kind of
Yeah, they're finding their way. Look, there's been a couple of curveballs thrown at them. Like I said, none of the elected officials signed up for this. If you would have told them back in 2018 that there was going to be a pandemic and you were going to have to face it, I think probably a good percentage of them would have head for the hills. That being said, federal dollars, as I alluded to, has been a help. I think this whole cannabis legislation, and we've been reading in the paper every day, this one's going in, this one's not going in, what communities are going to do and how they're going to face that. I mean, we don't know yet what's going to happen. I think it's a game changer, quite honestly, for a number of different communities. I think just the repurposing of buildings and areas. I mean, we see it right here in Kingston, out our back door, with the repurposing of the old Tech City. Those things are going to be game changers. So there's a lot of excitement. There's a reason. Look, people are struggling. There's no question about it. I don't want to be a Pollyanna. I recognize that, but I think that it's up to us. It's incumbent upon government to help those folks who are struggling and try and get them back on a path where they need to get back on, help communities rebuild when they need to rebuild, and just do whatever we can do. Our biggest challenge right now, I believe, and it's something that the governor alluded to yesterday too. Do I sound like a governor fan? It's something that she alluded to, was the mental health of people in our state.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's another worry. And how do you address?
It seems secondary. It's not.
No, baby. And I know the county executive Ryan, congratulations, Pat, by the way, for your second child, has spoken about that as well.
Yeah, right. We forgot.
We need to address that. Really Guy, think about this. You have people who are thrown this curveball in their life when the schools are closed and their kid can't go to school and they have to provide child care and they have to go to work and what do I do? Those kind of things have created an angst that or yesterday I was with someone who's facing the challenge of taking care of their mom who has dementia, who contracted COVID, and how do I face? So there's this outside,
and it looks like there's no end in sight.
That's the sad part. And we thought,
coaster continues.
Right, we thought we were out of this. I believe that we're much more mindful of how we're rolling, what people are doing, what's happening. I'm pleased to hear that this strain, Omicron, is not as impactful.
We were discussing that earlier before we were on the air. It doesn't. Although it's virulent and it spreads very quickly.
It's highly contagious.
It seems to have burned itself out.
But remember H1N1, Tony. Remember the flu. Remember, and people forgot. Swine flu. I mean, we did this. I remember Lamar Hasbrook, who was the health commissioner in Ulster County, who said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to different schools. We're going to set up vaccination sites. We did this with H1N1. I remember working. He asked us to work.
0809, man.
Right. So we did this before. We could do it again. I feel that we're starting to get our arms around this. I know it's caused angst for everybody, and my heart goes out to them.
Hey, I was telling Guy on the way in, I just got my booster jab yesterday at Best Buy. Very smooth, Moderna, and
at the former Best Buy location.
I went in there and said, I said, where are the refrigerators? I walked in.
Although it's funny, I got my booster quite accidentally when I was going grocery shopping with my wife at Walmart. Walmart. People are standing there. One of my friends is in line. I said, "What are you doing?" They said, "We're getting boosters." I said, "You mean I can get a booster here?"
Yeah.
I spoke to a physician yesterday, a highly regarded physician in Orange County. He says, "Yeah, I got my booster." So I'm thinking, "Oh, he got it at the hospital." He says, "Yeah, I went to CVS and got it." Yeah. So that's great too. That's a good thing.
I want to give a shout out to the volunteers that were there yesterday, and there's some paid staff, mostly the folks that give you the injection. But a lot of the folks, I would say 90% of the people there are volunteers.
Great. How great is that?
And it was, it was a big operation.
We need to give a shout out not just to those folks, but to everybody who stepped forward. I mean,
You're not kidding.
The EMS folks, the fire.
And they're worn so thin, these people. There's no end in sight. They're shorthanded like every other industry.
And it's home health care is being affected by this too, and that's another challenge that people are being faced with when they always relied on someone coming into the home to help their mom or their dad.
That's right.
And now all of a sudden that's so be kind to people. Recognize that there's a story behind them. When someone seems to be uptight, understand that there's something going on. We really need to put people first.
Everyone
again.
has a story.
And I with that, I would be remiss not to say that earlier today in the show when I said that Tony's vivaciousness and his aplomb for radio and all these things.
Now
his youthful appearance,
youthful exuberance,
youthful exuberance, all made me, want to hurl. I would like to retract that under the banner of kindness, because it's.
Oh, now
it's not true. There's other reasons.
I love that. Under the banner of kindness, I love that's something that we could develop.
It would be nice.
I have to say though that we got to stop a second. We got to stop. People are, and I don't want to be the person that keeps saying this, but people are challenged. People, these are
about a culture.
It's good that you recognize
culture. I like a culture of kindness under the guy's banner.
Under Guy's banner.
Well, he likes the alliteration of it. The culture of kindness.
I'm an alliteration person.
But there's a banner. I like the banner.
So that's what we're seeing. The good news is, especially amongst the municipalities and the school districts that I work with, is that people are getting up every day and doing their job, doing what they have to do, figuring it out, pivoting. We did a study of, we highlighted in the Hudson Valley a city, a town, and a village to see how each one of them were responding to the COVID crisis. And one of the village that we highlighted was the village of New Paltz. And it felt good because it's like a hometown. And it's amazing to see, you have Mayor Tim Rogers there, what the village has done, how they've done it, how they've responded. It's great. I mean, and
having the state university there, they face.
But they lost tremendous revenue. And you know why? Because the state university was a water and sewer customer, and all of a sudden the dorms are empty.
See, now who would think
right,
of that?
You don't. Or how about this crazy thing? There's one of the municipalities lost their parking meter revenue because no one was going out to shop at the time. So these things we don't understand.
Yeah, the grinder, it trickles down everything.
I just have to say one thing. We're dropping the word pivot from our vocabulary.
Well,
we're not pivoting anymore.
There's 10 words.
Replacing it with the word
veering.
Buffon. Buffon is going to replace the word pivot.
At Tony Baffa's. Buffon. I think there are 10 words that they released.
Those are one.
Right,
Pivot was one of the words.
Yeah, the pivot is the pandemic pivot. There's a little
with the alliteration.
But no, I mean, but folks have stood there, figured it out, scratched their head, and then made a plan to embrace what.
So the difference in the city, the town, and the villages, were there stark differences, or were there more similarities?
No, because some of them were faced with more challenges than others. I mean,
different challenges for sure.
And in a village, being a former small village mayor, you can get your arms around things pretty quickly. That in a bigger city, there's a lot of moving parts, and that's something that we see. And of course, counties even being that much more complicated. But again, folks just stepped up. I mean, some people got burnt out. There's no question about it, and made a decision. That's it for me, and I'm out of here. And I could appreciate that too, and respect that. They talk about the Great Resignation. We're seeing the Great Retirement. I call it. People are saying, hey, I've got 25 years at this gig. I'm gone.
Private sector and
I
public
can't
service.
do it anymore. And in our world, some of the heartbreaking things are because we also oversee the state retirement system. New York state firefighters, police officers, and state employees, municipal employees. We're seeing a lot of what we call deathbed retirements. People who have gotten ill as a result of either not getting vaccinated, in the hospital, and then realizing that they need to sign a document to name their beneficiary or whatever they didn't do. So that's been, the comptroller DiNapoli has been very conscious of that. He waived. There used to be a waiting period. He waived the waiting period. Because it is sobering, and you understand that. And the compassion that I've seen put forth by the folks that I work with in that particular area is just amazing. I mean, to the point where over this weekend, we had an issue, and the deputy of retirement said, "Give me the family's phone number. I'll call them up directly, and I'll do what I need to do." So kudos to that. But
listen, thank you. We have a minute or so.
By the way, I'm going out and spinning off my own show pretty soon. I'm going to find a radio. I'm going to find a radio station that will
kick the dust off.
They're not out there.
Where's Don Verity? He retired.
Don Verity retired. Yes.
Shed the dead weight of Tony and I.
I'm looking for a franchise. I'm looking to be. But
you can really go, pay per view or
YouTube. And I appreciate the impact of alliteration, the Baffa Buffon connection here. All these things, guys, it's been great. It's been fun. I look forward to this, although getting up at 6:30 in the morning is crazy. Right. And Tony has moved me next month, so Guy, this may be our last time together.
And all puns intended, what if that happens and you move, what I'm going to miss most is what I refer to as the Elliot-ness.
Thank you.
The Elliot-ness that you bring, not the Elliot-ness. The Elliot-ness.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you very much. Lawrence, take it away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This programming is brought to you by the Friends of Kevin Cahill. As a strong advocate of local broadcasting, Assemblymember Cahill urges you to support Kingston Community Radio with your time and donations. Your contributions keep KCR vital and on the air at FM 92.5, AM 920, and on the web at mykcr.org. Please join Assemblymember Cahill and send your gifts of $10, $25, or more to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. Together, let's keep KCR alive.
All right, folks, we're back. This is Thunder Thursday. Guy Greco is walking aimlessly around Kingston. I'm not sure exactly where he is. Maybe
he's probably just so mind's so flustered that the Cowboys are actually going to make it to playoffs this year. He's like, really?
That is true. Yeah. What do I do now? Yeah. So I don't think they're going far. By the way, I think they're going to get smoked.
I mean, they won their division, right? I mean, that's definite. So they're going to get a home game.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are in.
Oh, the Eagles are in?
Yeah, they. Oh,
no kidding.
Yeah, they cleared. Their Eagles are in. They've clinched a wild card spot.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's the 7th or the 8th seed.
And the Giants are playing pop.
Yeah, so we're
Warner
not the
football.
NFC East. We're not the NFC least anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have birthdays today? We haven't had any since Monday.
We have a birthday. Yep.
Good.
And we're with Bill Calderera. Just joined us. President and CEO of Ulster Savings Bank. Welcome, Bill. Welcome to 22.
Thank you. Happy to be here as always.
Yeah.
We have an additional birthday that isn't written down. Ronnie Jones of Kingston, New York.
Kingston, New York, Ronnie Jones. Okay. All right. Well, happy birthday, Ronnie. Is he a musician?
No, he's the stepson of a musician, though.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So, Bill, why don't you read the birthday we have today?
Sure, and happy birthday to Donald Carragher from your friends at Wellness and Healthy Lifestyles Club.
Wellness and Healthy Lifestyle. We should
Lifestyles
probably
Club.
join that, right?
Yeah.
All four of us should join that
I
one.
think
Probably
you
a
should
popular
come up with a
place.
slogan for them.
Wellness and Culture of Kindness.
Probably very popular in
Culture
January,
of
right?
wellness,
Yeah.
Yeah. So Donald is our only entry into the birthday pool today. So guess what? He is the winner.
This never gets tired, does it?
That's good. Congratulations, Donald. You can pick up your cow pie at Boyce Dairy Milk House at 62 on Neal Street. And they're great supporters of KCR, and they have delicious ice cream. None of us would know that, though, right?
No, wouldn't know at all.
So, Bill, how's it going? Welcome to 22.
2022. It's, yeah.
Who'd have thunk it, right?
I know. Who'd have thought we'd be having some of the conversations we're still having in 2022.
Yeah.
I heard you
Yeah, that's
guys a little bit earlier, but you
Yeah.
know, we just have to deal with it.
That's right.
And we'll get through it just as we have.
That's
so.
right. One foot in front of the other, and off we go.
Put your pants on or not put your pants on?
Is this a question? It's not quite. It's not Shakespeare.
Where's the Zoom camera?
Is this the
Well,
bargain
usually you
basement
say put
Shakespeare?
one leg in at a
To
time.
be or not to
put
be,
the other
this is
leg
that.
in, pull the pants up, and get on your day.
I think that's.
That's
I don't think that's as catchy as some of your other slogans, but all things considered, maybe somebody will be.
on the head every time. So, Bill, are you a resolution kind of guy? It's like you're at the beginning of the year, you're saying, "Hey, this is what I want to do this year," blah blah blah, or some planning, some winging it, some.
Yeah, it's probably the combination of those. I mean, I'm a plan, but it probably laid them out a long time ago. We played it in piece and just knocked them out. So each year, we just modify those a little bit, and then.
Right.
But if 2020 and 2021 have taught us anything, it's you have to be ready to be flexible with those. That's all.
there you go.
So we'll
As
deal
long
with
as you don't pivot, please don't.
Right. No, I heard you earlier. We're not going to use the word anymore. It's done.
I'm done with that word. I mean, is there? So, so let's talk about Ulster Savings Bank a little bit. Thank you for sponsoring. Thank you for supporting Happy Christmas Fund, doing all that you do, not only for us, but for multiple in the community. You're like Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, just very concerned about helping.
Yeah, it is. And I heard you guys earlier talking about the community of kindness, and that's kind of what we were hoping when we did our 170 acts of kindness, right? That's the type of thing that would come from that it was a pay it forward kind of piece. So
That's a brilliant idea.
We're working on what we're going to do with that for this year. So,
and it's so important. I mean, I think I'm trying to think what it would be like in this community if we didn't have the Ulster Savings Bank, the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Unions. The list goes on and on and on. I think of the Herzog family. They have been supporting folks in this community for decades.
Right.
Not just, recently. There's another big Kingstonian hearing coming up on January 12th. And because of technical issues with the Zoom, I guess, the last one we had was thrown out. That's the modern world. There were several people at City Hall giving testimony about that. But apparently there was Zoom problems. So they threw the hearing out, and
this is stalled again. Is that
stalled?
It is.
Yeah, but quite honestly, I mean, it was a lot of folks in favor. There's certainly folks against. The same folks against that had been against it from day one.
Right.
Pretty much same folks in favor. The last Common Council was in favor of it. There's new people on the Common Council now, so a new vote is going to be taken. Hearing's going to be held. And I just saw an article about it in the Freeman today. So yeah, so
it's
we're hopeful.
It's a shame that we're talking about the same issue.
Again.
Isn't that something?
And I understand the issue with the technical issue. So I'm not
Right.
claiming that that's a problem, and that's a little bit of an issue that we have
Right.
in our current environment, right? That sometimes the
absolutely.
technology works and sometimes it doesn't, and I get that.
Yeah.
But
We're just more dependent on it now.
I've been hearing about the project for years and years and years. I want to say it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that I heard about the first piece, and part of the presentation was the closing of that
road, right?
That Fair Street extension. It was there from day one. This isn't a change. This isn't So the fact that it's coming up at the end of the project rather than the beginning of the project for a piece is just interesting. So I'm hoping it.
I think everything is going to be fine. People need to get out and support it. That's our position or my position. I don't speak for the station, but I think the Jordans, as I said before, the Benuras, that they're local developers. These are not folks from Timbuktu trying to come out and carpetbag this
Absolutely.
area.
They have a long history in the area, right?
Club, the Y's, you name it. The folks that need supporting.
Yeah, it is. It's a little hole in Uptown, and it has been for a while. This is going to provide a lot of benefits to the communities, a public meeting area, the parking, some affordable housing. Not to mention the bridge, which I think is going to be wonderful going across. And we're on Schwenk, so if anybody would be affected more than anybody else, we would down there. And I can tell you, and we also have an office right on Wall Street. So I do that route almost every day, going back and forth between offices and different pieces.
4 corners, man.
But I can tell you that that particular section I rode, I'm usually the only car on it when I'm going down it.
Yeah.
It's not. The traffic on it is pretty much non-existent, and we saw that in a number of the traffic studies, because I also was on the panel for the reworking of Schwenk Drive, and that study showed that there was no effect of that really.
I mean, in the winter, it's sort of a death-defying shortcut.
It's a slight, if anything, a slight inconvenience to not have that there to go around a different way. There's not a lot of traffic that goes up that way.
So we wish the best for that project moving forward. It's some good news with Tech City. That seems to be moving forward, and I think closings have happened. So
that's exciting.
That's very exciting for this county, not just for town of Ulster and Kingston. I mean, that's going to be a draw.
I would even go beyond it and say I think it's a Hudson.
Hudson Valley.
I think it's a Hudson Valley. I think anytime we can put a development like that anywhere within the Hudson Valley, it helps us all. Right? It's a region.
Yep.
I mean, obviously with Ulster and the different pieces, but I think it's really a regional victory, and to have something like that come into our area.
Kudos to County Executive Pat Ryan, Tim Wiedemann, John Milgram, all the folks that worked, behind the scenes. Mark Ryder.
And I heard Elliot did it, but I congratulate Pat on the birth of his new child as well, which is exciting news on what a Christmas present, right?
Yeah, that's a big Christmas present, right? Absolutely. So I mean, there's reasons to be optimistic, and we certainly know there's reasons to be cautious still. We try not to get into the pessimism world, but because what's the point of it? So we can either make something good happen out of what we have, or we can just lament and say we can't change anything.
We have to look at it and look at smart development, right? What do we want, and then if we encourage that and bring it through, it would be more beneficial to what we want in our communities and helpful for the plan. If you just kind of sit back and try to stop everything, what you finally get may not be what you really wanted. Right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Absolutely. We talked earlier, a guy and I were talking about, things like interest rates and, refis and, what's your take on, I mean, you two.
Hold on, I'll get my crystal ball.
Yeah, right.
You didn't really do interest rates, you made that up.
Yeah, well, I just kind of, that was kind of.
He always waits for me to do that one, right?
I was thinking about interest rates.
You're so lucky, right?
I just have to take an economics lesson before I come on every day.
Exactly. So the thought is really that there may be a slight uptick in interest, see or no?
Yes. Now, I think that's, again, this isn't the bank's views, but my personal views. I think it's almost a given. And I think the Federal Reserve has kind of announced that where they are with the inflation area, it's just overheated. For a number of different reasons, but I think they have to raise a little bit. They have to do it for a couple of reasons. One, to slow that down. Two, they need to reload, to have something to reload if we do get into another piece. Right now, we're effectively at negative interest rates.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, from the standpoint of what we're seeing. So, you know, that most of the economies that ever had that or had zero rates have shown that that's not a great strategy for the future. Right now, it's doing great. So I think they're going to take the steps they need to keep it forward. It's a difficult way to do it.
Quarter. How many? You guys call them basis points.
They're
right?
basis points.
Basis points. I don't know what the hell a basis point.
Why are you throwing quarter around? Can't you start with an 8?
A dime, a nickel.
Start with an 8.
What is a poker game? That's a quarter.
Yeah, I think they'll take it slow. I think they'll increase it over time. And again, remember, the only thing the Fed really controls is the shortest end of the curve. It's the overnight funds. It's what they lend to banks with. It's what particularly would affect something like the prime rate or different pieces
from there or moves from there.
Well,
right there.
that's their hopes, right? Is that by controlling that end, the rest of it moves. But the market really moves the long end, and for some period of time now, they've been keeping that longer end artificially down by buying. Not only have they kept the rates down on their side, they've bought the treasuries and stuff coming down to keep the price down. Yeah. So the longer end has been ticking up over time, and every time it did.
So inflation was almost like a given going to happen. I mean, it just based on so much money into the economy, and then the Feds throw in about $3 or $4 trillion, I guess, whatever the hell they threw, right? The government.
Right. There was a lot of stimulus, but there's been stimulus going in as well. I think we're also seeing the results of the supply shortage. So it's they said it's not like we talked about the labor market. It's not a single thing. It's a combination of multiple things happening all at the same time. So, you put money into the economy to stimulate it, to keep the effects of the pandemic from
I'll tell you, I would not want to be an elected official these days. At the national level, it's got to be super challenging because there's so many competing issues and factors and
right.
Right.
Plus the divisiveness that comes into every conversation.
Man.
Sure.
How do you work through this stuff and then not politicize it? You know what I mean?
Everything is.
I know, Bill.
Everything.
Right. I mean, it's just like, okay, well, if the Republicans do this, if the Democrats do that, we're going to stall this. We're going to stall. How about just thinking about the people? Right.
Mm-hmm. If we started at that basis,
start there and figure out what's the best for the people. Republican, Democrat, Socialist, Communist, I don't care. What's right for the people, right? And growing the economy and geez.
You talk about in our area the acts of kindness all of this stuff. Well, isn't the whole country made up of small communities like this, even in big cities and small? So, I don't know. It sounds like a very simplistic thing to do, but I think that's where it starts.
It does, and I think that's right. I think it was one of the reasons we did it, and I think I saw a news show the other day that had a group that were doing dinner clubs, and they were doing dinner clubs amongst people of different, backgrounds and particularly different political standings. And they would sit across each other from the table, or they started doing it by Zoom, obviously, during the pandemic. But when they could, they would get together. And over a meal, they would have a discussion about it. And they realized that they came to very different conclusions after sitting face-to-face with somebody, having a dinner, and having a civil conversation about
what a wonderful end to that story. I thought for sure you were going to say food fight.
It was amazing. And I'm like, wow, that's, that's how it used to be, right? And I heard you talk to going out for a beer after. That's what we've lost. I know you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Of the ability to look at the other person's point of view. Don't have to agree with it, but I can look at it.
Right, it doesn't make him the enemy.
And I can respect that you have that opinion. I don't have that same opinion. But it's no longer personal. I'm not a bad person because of that.
That's right.
And what we've always said, if we could start, as you said, for the people, or start with what we first have in common, because we all have way more in common.
That's right. That's right.
And then this work, we use, unfortunately, I think in the political side, the stuff we have as common as the tipping point, as rather than saying, let's get done what we can get done that we can all agree on, and then we'll work on the stuff that's a little bit more controversial.
Right, and everything isn't a zero-sum game, right?
Those are, there's a lot of complicated issues. There's not simple problems to complicated issues usually,
But so I think we have an opportunity in 22 to do this, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. From an optimist standpoint, we're 6 days into this, so let's make 22. The best we can do. I mean,
that's what we have to. And as to Guy's point, it's us. If we start with it, and it does start at the communities, it's going to be forced upon, right? We still control it. It's going to be forced up. We allow it, unfortunately, somewhat allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And feed into it. And if we stop and say no more.
There's so many different things contributing to this. The pandemic combined with the access to social media, where it's really easy to just push buttons, and you know what I mean. It's just like the perfect storm of things that happen at once. And you get those same people in a room and you talk to them. They're not the same person they are on Facebook or making comments on their keyboard. That's not even who they really are. Yeah. It's a trendy thing. It's again the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, but you ask people if they love their kids and their grandkids, and everybody says, "Well, yeah." Do you want a better world for them?
Yeah. Heck
yeah. Well, all right. So let's start with that then.
Right. Yeah.
Then the next question is, all right, how do you think we should go about this? Well, you know,
community by community, person by person. I mean, that's kind of how you have to do it. So it's just, you know, I think back in a long time ago in a land far, far away, this year coming up is 50th high school reunion time for me. 5-0.
Every year's 50th high school.
5-0, man. Big deal.
5-0. It is a big deal.
5-0. Big deal. And I'm thinking, man, it was just so much more simpler back then. I mean, it was just so much more simple.
Well, just keep in mind you're also in high school.
No, I know that, simpler. But you know, and I guess you can't go back that far, but still, it's like, why can't we take the pieces of that kind of worked well and just keep? Let's use those again today. Let's get back to being concerned about each other. I like guys, you know, lose your cell phone for a day, you know.
Yep.
Lose your cell phone.
It's very
for a day.
freeing for me to not have a cell phone for a little bit.
Put it, you know, even God forbid, put it on the weekend. You know, just turn it off on the weekend. Possibly.
And if I could, I want to throw in a disclaimer here, and just in case Wayne Winkler or Jim Moran or anybody at my credit union's listening, when I say when I was without my cell phone, my work cell phone was on me all the time. That still worked just fine. I just want to throw that in there.
Good point. We got 6 people that need mortgages. I lost my cell
phone. No. My work phone was in perfect order. I've never lost that.
Sent me a fax. Are people still using faxes?
Well, the numbers are still available on a number of calls. I noticed that. I had new business card.
Yeah, faxes are probably going to go the way of what? Mimeograph.
You remember when it first came out, it was like, it's a fax. Everything has to stop. We got a fax. You know, I mean, that was... Yeah, it was a fax unless it was, you know, this is urgent. It has to happen now.
Yeah, and you would have to explain to people in our business, listen, I can't fax you the money. That's not the way this works.
Fax you the money. Fax you a picture of Ben Franklin. Talk about some of your personal volunteer stuff. I know you're involved in several organizations, and you know, I think, well, I know you are, but I think it's important for folks to know that, you know, you have not only a business commitment to helping.
Absolutely.
You have a personal commitment to helping.
Yes.
So just talk about that just for a little bit.
Yeah, and that's very important to us as an organization. I said it's one of our, you know, big part of our values. So I feel like I have to lead the way with that very often. And we do ask all of our employees to, you know, we have a goal of 100% of them volunteering within the community. So, yeah, I sit on a few boards, just a couple.
Have you lost count?
I have lost count. If you're going to put me in a spot, I'm probably going to leave one off at this point. But
you're a very humble guy. But I think it's important to name some of the organizations that you've had association with.
So, as you know, I'm part of Rotary is one, and past president of the Kingston Rotary Club. Right. I sit on the board of the Ulster Community College Foundation, so the SUNY Ulster Foundation Board. Bardavon and Ymca, Ulster County Italian American Foundation, Boy Scouts, Rip Van Winkle Council, Boy Scouts. I'm president. Right. And I know again, I'm going to leave a pattern for progress. I'm the treasurer there.
Right.
And oh god,
they always take the banking
and you
guy.
And you found time to go skiing. Is that?
Oh, right? I found a little bit of time to go skiing.
Yeah, no, I know there's multiple others, but I think over the years,
community.
Community Foundation? No.
Not the Community Foundation, no. That'll come to me in a minute. But I said I usually need a list when you're putting spot for those.
But again, we were talking about leadership earlier. Yeah. And I said, you know, we were talking about the Happy Christmas Fund and the significant contribution that Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union made. And you said it was leadership. It was Wayne basically saying, you know what, this is what we're getting behind. And it's like that in every
It is.
well-run.
Yeah.
And Bill's not the type of guy to
doesn't
beat his
happen.
chest about it, but he's the same. He's a
right.
he's a leader in the community. And when your leaders are devoting so much time, kind of selflessly, and don't get embarrassed by this, but it's pretty selfish.
Yeah.
We all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Right.
What you choose to do with it and how you manage to do that sometimes is I'm a little amazed by it.
Yeah.
But that you make it a priority. It's important to you to do all these things that serve the community, speaks very highly of you, and it benefits the community. And if more people could do even a fraction of that, we'd go a long way.
Better place.
Well, we do, and we said we ask our employees to volunteer. We don't tell them what to volunteer on. We want them to find their passion, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's
involved.
fine. I don't, we have a group that goes down and helps unload the food bank truck when it comes to the St. John's Food Pantry, because I think at this point they have three volunteers that actually work the food pantry. They get a tractor trailer. It used to take them all day.
Yeah.
We have 20 people or so that go down.
Oh, that's great.
During the day, and we give them time off to work. They go down, they unload the truck in like an hour and a half, and they're back.
And what an important entity that is.
It is. It's whatever it is. We tell them, and I meet with every new hire that we have. I do talk to them. I tell them about it and tell them why it's important. But go find what it is. If it's your church, your synagogue, your mosque, if it's your thing is children's sports, go do children's sports, coach, help out, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It's just getting them involved in and to be honest with you, it's not a hard sell. Most of them are already doing it and part of it, but we just want to make sure that we're reinforcing it and
absolutely
talking about it as part of our our core values. We believe we can make a positive change within our community, and that's one of the things we want to do.
I think about how many times that you see on the national news examples of bad leaderships, bad CEOs. Someone has frauded this or done that. That hits national attention, national news. You never hear about the good stories.
Listen, it's always been that way. It's always been that way.
Doesn't sell the
Why
papers,
can't
right?
it be that
That's
way?
right. That's exactly it.
Why can't we? Just somebody should make up a good news network. And all you're talking about is good things happening.
I wonder if people would tune in. Now, my wife watches a network. I think it's called the ID Network. It seems to me that it's one example of a wife killing her husband after the next. It's like a network devoted to this stuff. Now, she watches it like it's a tutorial. I think she takes notes. And I asked her why she watches this network, and she said,
"Watch out."
She said, "I said, is it educational? Name one thing you've learned." And she said, "Well, always pay cash for the wood chipper," which doesn't make me sleep any better at night.
Yeah.
But, I don't know any. Well, there must be some network, right, devoted to just positive things out there.
I don't know.
I'm not aware of one though.
If anyone knows of that, let us know. It's a good news network. If not, we're going to start one.
Yeah.
Let's start a good news network.
I'm sure you can come up with a slogan.
You can. We
Bring
can.
your sweetie and have some ziti. The Good News Network.
February 15th, come to the dance. Come to the Ulster County Italian American Foundation dance up in Diamond Mills, and should be fun. You don't have to be Italian to show up. You can be whatever ethnic group you are.
Strangely, the name doesn't indicate that.
We're just a host. We welcome all. Be a great dinner dance.
And they're usually a lot of fun.
They're a lot of great fun. Mm-hmm. And Karen Pillsworth will be telling Valentine stories, not Befana stories, the La Befana story.
Oh, I see.
Phyllis heard that.
Mm-hmm.
You're aware of this story?
Yes.
Were you aware of it before Tony brought it into your life?
Yes.
See? Befana, I don't know.
So now I wondered why it was kept secret from me.
In our Italian
Perhaps I was
household,
sensitive to
we never, it was never talked about. Christmas Eve was, but not we basically used Little Christmas as a time to take all the Christmas.
That's right. That's when the tree comes down. I remember. The tree comes down, everything down.
Right. See, January 6th was my mom's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So
it
would have been hers Epiphany. So nothing came down.
Yeah, until
after January.
Oh,
that's right. Might as well wait another day. You waited this long.
Yep. So.
Well, Bill Calderer, thank you for all you do for the community. Thanks for supporting KCR and Happy Christmas Fund. And you're just a great guy to have such a community asset, really.
Well, thank you, but it really is. It's just a great community. We enjoy being part of it. bank has been part of it for 170 years. I just have a great group. I mean, that's a
think
shout out I give to my teammates all the time, because they really make me look
this
good.
community without you in it. Because you've only been here 6 or 7 years, 5, 6 years?
5 years. Yeah.
5 years. It's hard to believe. Yeah. So thank you for all you do.
Now, are you moving from this slot?
No, he's staying.
Oh, okay.
He's staying.
Oh.
Yeah, he's staying. We're shuffling hosts around.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not being shuffled. You're staying right here.
You're shuffle free.
Shuffle free.
Shuffle less. All right, Lawrence, take it away.
Listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston, on your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
On top of first-class care, you will never receive a bill. The only thing we had to worry about was just keeping Azalea comfortable. St. Jude saved her life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
A message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare.
There's pain that does not stop.
I feel trapped by migraine.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
I feel like I'm dying. You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed. We are a global force for good. Support causes that matter. Change lives. Change communities. Change the world. We can do more together than we can alone. Join in. Experience the joy of serving. Be part of the movement. Give back. Let's unite the world for good. We are Lions. You can be too. Visit weserve.org.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lovezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support the Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Okay, so we're back. I guess Tony had to go see a man about a horse.
Right, and I should let people know by that comment, that was not Tony, but it's still Thunder Thursday.
There he is.
And here comes Tony now, and we're here with Lisa Bergen, who's the queen of tourism.
And she's also upset about the shuffling.
And she is a shufflee to Tony's shuffler. And they're shuffling her off to the last Thursday of the month, and we figured out, I think it's mainly to boost the ratings.
Exactly.
To boost morale as well.
Exactly.
You have all those people hanging on to the end of the month. They can't wait.
And I'm waiting to see my text to see if I've been shuffled as well.
I think you're staying.
I was missing my phone, so I may have received the text and be unaware of it.
We have opportunities to have new folks on the first Thursday of the month,
So is that by the definition of that, you're referring to Lisa as an old folk? Is that what you're doing?
Lisa is, as you say, the queen. She's all
Queen of tourism. Is
queen of
correct.
whatever she wants to be the queen of.
There we go.
The Queen of Camelot is the Queen of quite a lot.
Exactly. I'm going to tell that to my husband.
And a new member of the Highland Rotary Club.
Yes,
I have to say.
absolutely.
So that's a big deal. And
Congratulations. You have a secret handshake and all that stuff?
They haven't
You do?
taught it to me yet, but
it's still a secret.
Exactly. I mean, I'm brand new, so have to get me in there and do a good job with the Rib Fest, and then maybe they'll teach me the handshake.
The Rib Fest is going to happen. It's August 19, 2021. It's down the road a little bit. So we just
I played one of those Rib Fests on the stage, and I really enjoyed it. And the money was good. Everything was great. The stage was great.
Food was good.
Yeah, I got tickets for free ribs.
That was probably the best part, right?
And I got to tell you, my guitar needed to be really wiped down. I had to have ribs go up and do the show. It was.
Oh, that's so funny.
Makes sliding easier, doesn't it?
It
If you
does.
have barbecue sauce.
I loved it. I want to
on
put a bid in to do this year's Rib
Yeah,
Fest.
yeah. Well, we're
There you
going to
go.
try to get back local with entertainment and mix it up a little bit.
That's a
but
Don Verity thing?
Don is in the club.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. He's our past president and very active member.
And you're the current president?
No.
You're not?
Dave Lambert. I'm not. Amazingly, I'm just a person in the club doing stuff.
He does have all the good committee assignments, I've noticed.
Beer. I got the beer
exactly. He got the beer tent. But I didn't do too bad. I want you to know.
Yeah,
I'm going to count the money.
Yeah, that
is not a bad job.
That's a
Well,
good job. That's
I
a great
think you
job.
may want to rethink that.
Yeah.
Counting money in a pandemic is probably not the best
Well,
job.
it's going to be August, the end of August.
That's right. It'll be fine.
By
It'll be
then,
fine.
Hopefully, it'll be in our rear view mirror, right? We hope.
And you're just counting the beer as well?
Well, we're selling the beer, man.
Yeah.
We're selling the beer. Yeah, no, it should be a lot of fun, and it's a big event. I mean, we get
is a big
thousands of people, man.
Yeah.
And
Big
everything
event.
everything is on the calendar moving forward. It's looking like it's going to be a...
Well, some things are coming back, some things are still on hold. I mean, people are still, anything that's scheduled for March, April right now is looking a little iffy. And people aren't really sure, are we going to be able to do it? I'd like to see people to continue to plan forward is if we are going to do these things. I think we have to take that approach and be like, okay, we're gonna come to an end of this at some point. And even though, I mean, and I say that, fully acknowledging, like you guys have talked all morning, that the numbers are outrageous and they're over the top. But it seems like, and I know you've talked about this too, immunologists are saying more and more, this could be the end. This may be how this burns out. We get to herd immunity one way or the other, you know,
right.
and this is what we have to go through. So it stinks right now. I mean, there were a lot of plans for Black History Month. We were really gonna do
That's
a big,
February.
we were really gonna focus on that, and the chamber it decided to do some business awards that were really exciting and honor business leaders that were past, present, and future, and that was awesome. And now, we're all the people that are on that planning committee, we're all kind of like, what does
Is that
February
chamber event
look like?
in person then? Or?
It was supposed to be in person.
Oh, okay.
At Rondout Savings.
Oh, right.
And it's going to be a really nice event, and that's why if it gets moved, it's only going to get moved so that everybody can enjoy it in person.
Yeah.
Because it was going to have all these different food stations.
Right.
We were going to have a poet speak. It was really going to be something very nice for the business community, and they've put a lot of thought into it, and it would be a shame to have
On a Zoom.
It won't be the same. Yeah. So if we need to, they're looking at moving to April, which is when Pinkster used to be celebrated by the Dutch here. That was when they gave their slaves a week off.
Pinkster, never heard of it.
I never heard of it either.
It's like Bafana. You learned two things today.
Too many things I learned today.
So anyway, so that might be what happens with that. But everything else, we're really looking forward to just moving along. And I think honestly, the county themselves are looking forward to the Rib Festival coming back. That is a big event.
Yeah,
when you
it
say
is.
thousands, it draws a bunch of people, and it's a fun 3 days, and it's great for everybody. So we're really looking forward to that, and we've got our fingers crossed. We're hoping that. Hits Endurance creates a triathlon that will be a late spring event, and those are kind of the things that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, look, I think September, October, August, we've had some really good festivals happening, a lot of stuff happening up until maybe December, beginning of December, things just flip back. But it'll flip back again because this is going to be over. I know Dr. Fauci called me and said, Tony,
you're really giving him a rough time. Poor Dr. Fauci.
He said the end of January, man. He said,
you should be all good.
We should be all good. But,
by the end of January.
I think we have to plan for that. I mean, I always think about Mohonk, it's a thriving place, and how they're kind of making this, sticking it out. I mean, what are they doing?
So they've been amazing, right? So a lot of those our biggest hospitality employers, Mohonk, Rockinghurst Ranch. The things that they've had to do to get through this, from changing the way that they serve food to what's available in people's rooms, to their cleaning protocols, and even the capacity that they can operate at, right? Because they still are lack of staff, but also keeping people apart. People are still feeling, they're still like not wanting to be totally on top of each other, which at least not in our area. And I think I told you guys that I went to a conference in Chautauqua, New York, which is like south and west of Buffalo. It's like right on that weird border of Pennsylvania.
Near Cheektowaga?
Near Jamestown. That's how far away it is. It's Cheektowaga, yeah. The Seneca Nation is the only thing out there.
You just wanted to say that word, didn't you?
I don't often get to say it, Cheektowaga. It's not like I throw it in every conversation.
So out there was like, people were very comfortable on top of each other, like in the hotel, like you normally would have been. Yeah. There was no worry. It was very different than it is here. And so,
why is that?
When was this, though? When?
That was in late September. And then you saw that they were the ones that led the Omicron Delta surge. They were like at 9% when all the rest of us were at 3%. But why is that? They just were more comfortable. I don't know. Here, visitors have preferred a little bit of distance, and so Mohonk in particular has operated at 70% because they need to keep the space. And their customers are saying, we want to know that nobody's been in that room for 24 hours. The only way you can do that is either by shutting down for a day and cleaning everything and then bringing people in, or by doing what Mohonk did, which is operate at 70%. You can't operate at 70% when you're endlessly. Your
fixed costs are just going to dictate that that's not a good number. But I mean, the employment numbers are down too, though.
That's right, and probably the amount of people that want to, that are going to be there are down, and it's that P word that you won't allow anyone to say anymore. And Rockinghurst too was something similar.
Rockinghurst had to make those same kind of accommodations, because they've got an indoor water park. They have a lot of things that they need to be conscious of. They don't want people, getting sick and then being like, oh, I got sick at Rockinghurst, and they've been great.
And they're a family, so they were operating through when there were no vaccines for, and people were bringing their whole family.
It's amazing what they've done. And, and then we've got some of our smaller places like the Emerson, which does literally close on Wednesday. There are no reservations there on Wednesday because that's their 24-hour window for cleaning the rooms and getting people back in. Yeah. It's so you can't, what are we going into? Year 3 almost of this?
Yeah.
So you can't keep doing it forever. We've got to get to, I'm mindful of my friend from high school owns First Care in Highland, and it's like if you see his posts on Facebook these days, all he's writing is, "We need to vaccinate and test, folks. This is the only way out." And he keeps.
What does First Care do? What's their do?
For First Care, it's like an emergency,
Like an urgent
care
care,
in Highland.
Off of 299 somewhere.
Yeah. His
You're
name's
in this
Stephen.
industry for 46 years, you said.
Oh, yeah.
Since
his
you got out
name's
4 years after high school.
Yeah, his name's Stephen Wyman. All I see from his
Is
posts
that
right
Herb
now.
Wyman's
Son.
Okay, Dr. Wyman.
Dr. Wyman's son.
Recovery.
Now he comes in.
I want to talk about
Nice recovery.
skiing.
Yes,
Ski
let's talk about
resorts.
skiing. Bel Air has incredible new amenities,
Oh, they
and
do?
they have snow. Yeah, they put a heated patio deck out in front of their main lodge. They were able to
Lawrence, there you go.
they
Get
were-
the skis out.
They have fire pits there. They added an outdoor barbecue. They're what do they call it? They're
Down at the
kitty.
bottom lodge?
Yeah.
The
They're
bottom
kitty
lodge?
hill or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
Kitty
What is
club.
that?
Learners area.
Yeah, the kitty club,
that's
whatever
what I
that's
meant.
called.
The bunny slope.
Yeah, the
So
bunny slope.
they have 3 magic carpets there, which is good. Like if like nobody wants to stand in line with their little tiny one, like being like,
What's a magic carpet?
it's how you get. You remember a long time ago? Yes,
Conveyor belt.
Tow rope.
Yeah, they don't have those
Not a
anymore.
tow
These
rope.
kids can't hold on to a tow rope. You kidding me? It's a
a
conveyor.
pandemic, a tow rope, I get it.
Tow chain.
Oh, great. That's, in the winter, that's great.
Exactly.
Tow chain.
You just
So now they have a magic carpet?
you just step on it.
Conveyor belt that just goes up. You put your skis on it.
Yep,
It
yep.
moves very slowly.
Yes.
Lift one ski, put it on. Lift the other ski, put it on. Boom.
And these are for people that really don't know how to ski yet?
Yes.
So how do they get off that then? They have to
You
ski off it?
you
That's how
slide,
you learn?
slide right off
but
it, kind of.
moves very, very slowly. Yes, you could do it.
I'm thinking of doing it.
The Overlook Lodge got open. You know, the one that had the avalanche go through it.
Yeah.
They have a ton of new snowmaking. So, we had that period where we had some rain, but before that, they were almost all the way.
It's been cold.
Right. They were almost all the way open with man-made snow. That's how much snowmaking they have now
wow.
there. And now they're back to really good conditions, and we're expecting snow Friday.
Tomorrow, I think, is
And then
snow.
Sunday, I think, again. Lawrence knows, I'm sure, this ski report.
Yeah.
But, so Bel Air is off to a great start. I think I told you guys, didn't I, that they had more than double the season passes this year that they sold last year.
Oh, that's
So
Nice
and
indicator.
the majority of it was family. So Bel Air is feeling really good because that's what you want. You want to get the families with little kids and make them skiers when they're little. That's how you keep it going. So they're really excited. They're off to a good start,
And
and
it's important for the tourism economy, right?
yeah, we want to be a 4-season destination, and I mean, sure, there are things for people to do when there's no snow. Even if you're not a skier,
they still have a bar, right?
They definitely.
Lawrence
I'm
is saying,
thinking
yeah, they can still get a bar.
Bar and magic carpet. I'm good.
Steppenwolf will be there. They're playing
Before
in the main
before
lobby.
and that's right.
That's hysterical.
Oh, I can see it now. I'd hit the bar and then get on the car. Yee-haw! On the
Get on the
carpet on the
magic
way up
carpet.
would be great.
There you go. All right, we'll meet you in 2 weekends
All right,
when we
2
know the
weeks from now.
snow. When we know the snow is really good.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to be there with you because you've been shuffled. You're a shuffly.
I'm a shuffly.
That's right. And we'd like, in recognition for all the Thunder Thursdays you did with, now, ours is the only Thunder Thursday, right?
No, all
Thursdays?
All
Oh,
I feel
that's
it's all
heartbreaking.
diminished. It is. It is.
Heartbreaking. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. I thought I was part of the one and only. I'm just one of what could be 5 in a month.
Exactly.
Possibly
Would you like
5
to
in a
have
month.
The other, second week is lightning.
All right. Well, here's what I want to do because you
Rain.
Third week is like.
bring your sweetie, have some ziti Thursday. Now, I would like to present you. Listen, because you've been shuffled, we would like you to take this as a memento. It's a ring.
No, don't do that.
Yes.
That's the host no,
Ring.
you can't do
You
that.
can wear this everywhere you go in remembrance. of one of the many Thunder Thursdays.
My time will just not be the same without Guy.
Okay, well,
it's going to be.
I don't know. You're
I may
putting
have to.
pressure
I
on
may
me.
have to phone in.
Negotiate.
I may have
Oh,
to
you
phone
can
in.
phone
I
in.
may have to phone in. I'll be a caller.
Strangely, while I'm on the show, the lines seem to be abnormally open, wide open.
Well, how about some?
When the lights blink over there, I just assume I must be having a stroke of some kind because nobody's calling. That's not what it is.
Give us a call, 331-9255, and make Guy happy.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a long call.
All right. I know it's a little bit down the road, but Tech City, big development there in terms of potentially drawing in folks. To this community.
Yeah. I mean, that was an enormous accomplishment on the part of our county executive and on the part of Tim Wiedemann. And I think that, the legislature was very supportive, and that was really important, right?
Yeah.
That they support this. And I appreciate March doing her due diligence and saying,
Right.
let's make sure that the price was right, and that's her job, and she's keeping everybody,
That's your job.
right, that she's keeping everybody on their toes and honest, and I think that that's the right thing to do.
Yep,
And I think that when we look at this a year from now, we're going to be in such a different place that it's going to be remarkable. I think that even when we think about, as I said before, kind of making this a four-season tourism destination, if we can welcome people for 4 seasons, that changes the employment picture for people, allows people to have full-time jobs, not seasonal jobs, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be better. It's going to be better pay. And it just changes things for people here, bringing in new people always, having our restaurants be busy, having our, our stores kind of be able to be picked up. And I think that the deal at Tech City was a good one. I think as we look forward, we can see a future there that's positive. And, maybe this is the best time to be doing that kind of long-term strategic planning, because you don't have to react to other forces going on.
Right.
You've kind of got the time to really plan things out, because we aren't being pushed by a lot of other economic forces right now, right? And the same goes for housing, right, Tony? I mean, it's a good time for us to be
glad you raised it.
Yeah.
That's a piece that really needs to be fixed, addressed. I'm not sure we need more housing starts, more capacity, right? I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's a guy's business,
The market itself was lending itself, at least for a while, toward construction when you could find the land, because when you build, the cost of the house is the cost of the house. There's nobody bidding on it and driving the price up while you're trying to build it. Now, I don't know. Again, there's
a lot of land in
inventories
Ulster
at play.
County, though. There's a lot of land in Ulster County.
There is.
It's a lot of it is farmland related, and maybe some of that has to be reallocated.
Well,
Are you going to shuffle that too?
Well, we can look at doing things.
To Thursday,
you can look at doing things differently, right? You don't need these, what we built in the 80s and 90s, right? These housing developments where everybody had, 2.5 acres around their house. Maybe that's not the way we go. Like, we need different kinds of housing. We need housing for people, for people who are going to who want to age in place, like, who want to age.
Like Woodland Pond.
Yeah, we need some. We need some of that. We definitely need emerging worker housing and young family housing, and maybe they want to live in a different way than with that big house and all that lawn and everything else. And so we need to kind of keep our eyes open and be flexible with that and think about how we meet it.
The county leaders, Pat Ryan and Tim Wiedemann and John Milgram and Mark Ryder and et al. I know they're thinking about housing issues. What's
Sure
their plan? What's the short term? Is there a short term fix?
Right.
And then going down the road a little bit, 3-4 years down the road, hopefully we're going to be in a different spot.
I hate to take up Lisa's time with this, but I can't let that go by without a segue. if you're thinking about the value that you have currently in your house, the equity, and you want to use it for any purpose, please call me. Ask for a guy at Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. I can help with that, and it's a good time.
It's a good time. It's a good time to think about how much equity you have in your house.
Sure
Exactly. Well, money's never going to be less expensive.
That's right. Use our money while it's nice and cheap. Save your money, invest your money.
Before the Feds start raising rates.
That's right.
Exactly. Get there today, as a matter of fact. I wouldn't even wait.
Wait till like 9:10.
9:15 at least.
No, but look, it's exciting. I mean, look, we know that there's some negatives, or we know that there's things that are not going well. But I think the flip side of it is there's reason for optimism. And not to say, again, I like Elliot Auerbach's comment about not being a Pollyanna about all this.
Yeah.
There's realities of crime, and there's realities of disenfranchised people, or there's a whole bunch of things that have always existed, by the way.
That's right. Always been there.
That stuff has always been there. But the pandemic is a first, and that has to be dealt with, and I think it is, hopefully. So reason for optimism in 22, I think, right?
Yeah,
There's got to be.
I definitely think that 2022 is going to be much, much better, not by a little bit. That's that old saw that, like, it's always darkest before the dawn. I actually think that's where we are right now, right? We're just right in the middle of a dark spot. Absolutely. And it's going to get a lot better. And I think that we can look forward to more and more and more things coming back, and to everybody kind of resuming, their normal routine, and I think that's what everybody wants.
And we have the hang of it, if you could say that, a little more than we did before. We know that things are going to come around in the spring. We know. The restaurants know how to serve outdoors now. They know how to, it's...
and here's what I like about what they're doing, right? So I don't know if in New Paltz, a lot of the restaurants have taken this time right now with Omicron and things being kind of, they're doing renovations.
Yeah.
They've got themselves closed. They're putting
We do business loans as well.
You do business loans as well. I mean, they're putting floors in, they're making small changes, whatever they can do in the next couple weeks, because, hey, now's the time.
Instead of better call Saul, better call Guy.
Better call Guy. Right. For business needs too.
Another thing I want to go on record as coining for this year.
Coining what?
What's the saying?
Now, here's a saying.
All right, what is it?
22 is going to be a good year. However, there might be a catch. Catch 22.
Nice.
22.
It was a long way to go for that.
It was really not.
I didn't know that. I really didn't see that coming. It was a long way to go.
Catch 22.
I would just,
Great movie, by the way. Alan
It really was. Good book.
But so, it's like, it's within our grasp. It's within our grasp.
With 5 minutes to leave here, it's going to be Cacciatore 22, knowing him. Everything has to be Italian with him.
I'm going to be running that around in my head, I think, for a while.
Cacciatore
22. 22. What could be better than that?
Well, nothing's going to top bring your sweetie and have some ziti, but that's close.
We have the banner of kindness, the culture of kindness, just like all the things we've coined today. And this show is going to be on YouTube probably by tomorrow.
This goes out anywhere in the world. Anybody in the world could watch this. It's a little frightening when you think about that, right? Of course they don't want to.
Lawrence is saying that. I don't know.
No, why would they want to watch it?
Exactly.
Well, I think that there's our corners of the world that probably wouldn't watch it.
Actually, this morning when I was at my desk doing something, I looked up and there's some writing. I don't know if it's German. Mm-hmm. Someone was watching us in another third world country and type something.
Listen.
There's no translator there. I don't know what they're typing.
I'm big in Latvia.
They could say there's a Scud missile heading towards, 16
You're a star in Latvia. Good to know.
Right. It's towards 16 Lucas.
Right, but it's written in some language that I can't read.
Interesting.
Could be cursive.
So I was like, wow.
Someone asking for Guy Greco so they can get some cheap interest rates.
Yeah, or they're trying to hire a guy to do a gig or something.
Cursive now is code for older people. It's like our own code. It's what Pig Latin used to be to children.
Where have all the nuns gone? That's what I know.
Almost the time my hand
not
got
to the
slapped.
Convent, that's for sure.
Yeah, not to the convent.
I know.
Yeah, you got. You must have you must have been black and blue from being whacked with a ruler or something.
I guess just by coincidence, yesterday, for a very short period, I'm between offices. I'm moving on from the third floor to the first floor, and some things are in one office, some things are in another. And I got caught in the middle, and I had to do long division.
Long division.
Yeah, and I didn't even have I didn't have my phone on me, so I gave it a shot.
How'd you do?
I did okay, and the first thing I thought is Sister Mary Josephine.
Right.
In 6th grade in St. Mary's, I remember she made me go to the board and do it because I was terrible at it. So she made me go to the board and do it. And I was
how many
literally
numbers did you have to, like,
I can't
two
remember. But
numbers into 16?
I was literally sweating. But as a little wise ass kid, I know I said to her, "I'll never need to do this in real life." And she said, "You will, though." And it took 57
years for her
57
prophecy to
years,
come
and she's
true.
absolutely right. I wish I could find Sister Josephine and say, I hope you weren't right about everything.
I haven't heard
You were
that
right
word
about
in years. Long division.
Long division.
I mean, geez.
Yeah. 9 digits,
When
too.
I
It was a long
started,
division.
when I bought Norman Staffing,
Took a lot of paper.
that was a pre-test for somebody.
What, long
and
division?
multiplication. Like
what?
I'm not
Really?
kidding you. We give them a piece of paper and
Long division, really?
Long division was a test for pre-employment test
For a job.
For a job.
Right.
And now
and that was part of
multiplication and long division.
Really?
And the way things are now, you've boiled it down to 2 requirements. Are you breathing in and out?
Right.
For
Can
long
you walk?
division.
Can you walk?
fog a mirror?
Great, you're hired.
Yeah. All right,
Now
Lisa
that's
Berger.
catchy. Can you
All
fog
right,
a mirror?
thanks, you
Fog a
guys.
mirror, you like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Director of Tourism in Ulster County, thank you for all you do in
Queen of
front of the
tourism.
scenes, behind the scenes, your energy, your enthusiasm. Thank you, and you're a blessing to our county. And
Thank you. We're off to a good. We're going to have a good 22. I know
And
we
you'll-
are.
And you are the queen of tourism, but you'll no longer be a blessing to this particular show.
Not this particular. Right. Lucky.
other blessings. All right.
Another Thunder
Go out
Thursday.
there and create a culture of kindness. That's what you're
Yes.
supposed to be doing. Culture of kindness.
Yes. Culture.
Get it?
I got it.
Catch it. Catch it. It's
Cacciatore
contagious.
22.
Don't wear a mask for that one.
That's right.
All right, Lawrence, take it away.